All right, so you know how everyone's talking about NFTs and how they might shake up customer loyalty programs?
Yeah, it's a hot topic for sure.
Well, today we're taking a deep dive into exactly that.
We've got a ton of research to dig into, articles, case studies, even a patent filing.
Yeah, we're going to see if NFTs can actually deliver on that promise of making loyalty programs better.
Better for both brands and customers. It's a tall order for sure.
So I think it would help to start with like a super quick recap of what NFTs are.
Yeah, good idea. So NFTs stand for non-fungible tokens.
Right, but what does that actually mean?
Basically, they're like digital trading cards.
Ah, okay. So each one is unique and you can prove you own it.
Exactly. But instead of like a picture of a baseball player, it could be, well, anything really.
And it's that anything that's getting people excited about loyalty programs, right?
Exactly. It opens up a ton of possibilities.
Because right now, a lot of loyalty programs just feel kind of blah.
Yeah, they can be pretty generic. You earn points, you get a discount. Not very inspiring.
And those points often end up losing value or they expire. It's
Yeah.
frustrating.
Exactly. But an NFT, that's something you actually own. It can be traded, it can have unique utility, and it can even appreciate in value.
So instead of just another 10% off coupon,
You might get an NFT that unlocks a limited edition product or a special experience, something that really feels valuable.
okay, yeah, that does sound way more exciting.
It's about tapping into our psychology, that desire for exclusivity, the thrill of collecting.
I get it. Like everyone wants to feel like they're part of a special club.
Exactly. And for brands, it's a way to offer rewards that really resonate with their customers, rewards that create a deeper sense of loyalty.
Okay, I'm starting to see why everyone's so hyped about this. But let's break down the specific benefits a bit more beyond that exclusivity factor.
Yeah, for sure. So personalization is a big one.
Personalization. So like the rewards are tailored to me specifically.
Precisely.
Hmm.
Imagine a world where your loyalty rewards are based on your individual preferences, not just some generic point system.
Okay, so like if I usually buy coffee beans, the program knows that and gives me rewards related to coffee, not like a discount on pastries I never buy.
Exactly. NFTs make that kind of granular personalization possible.
Because it can store information about my preferences.
Right. And the more personalized the rewards, the more valued the customer feels, which in turn strengthens their bond with the brand.
Like, hey, this brand gets me. They're paying attention.
That's the idea.
And then there's this whole thing about NFTs being tradable, right?
So that's where the token part of NFT comes in. Because they can be traded on marketplaces, they have the potential to increase in value over time.
Okay, so now it starts to sound a bit like investing.
It can be. Suddenly, your loyalty isn't just about earning points. It's about potentially building an asset.
So if a brand becomes super popular, the NFTs tied to their loyalty program could become more valuable too.
Exactly. And that creates a whole new dynamic for both customers and brands.
Okay, I'm getting the sense that this could really shake things up. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's look at some real-world examples of how brands are already using NFTs for loyalty.
Yeah, sounds good.
I think Starbucks is a big one that everyone's talking about right now with their Odyssey program.
Yeah, Starbucks Odyssey is a really interesting example of how a major brand is experimenting with this. They haven't scrapped their existing rewards program, with the stars,
Right.
but they're adding this extra layer of NFTs on top of it. And these NFTs can unlock all kinds of unique experiences.
So it's like, in addition to getting my stars for my lattes.
You could earn collectible NFTs.
Cool. What kind of experiences are we talking about here?
It could be anything, really. Virtual coffee tastings, exclusive merchandise, even invitations to special events.
Sounds pretty sweet.
They even have these things called journeys. You complete challenges, kind of like quests.
Quests, like in a video game.
Yeah, exactly. And when you complete these challenges, you earn stamps. And these stamps are actually collectible NFTs.
So it's like they've gamified their loyalty program. And I bet those limited edition stamps could become pretty valuable to collectors.
You got it. It adds a whole new level of excitement and engagement to the program.
Yeah, that's a really clever approach. What other brands are out there doing cool things with NFTs and loyalty?
Well, Scotch Soda, the fashion brand, is another one that's doing some interesting things. They're using NFTs to offer exclusive access to limited edition products and events.
So it's like a VIP pass, but it's an NFT.
Exactly. And they've even created a digital community just for their NFT holders where they can connect with each other and with the brand.
Oh, so it's not just about the rewards themselves, it's about creating a sense of belonging, a community.
You got it. It's about building a deeper, more meaningful relationship between the brand and its customers.
It's like building a VIP club, but in the digital world, with NFTs as the key.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And it's a trend we're seeing more and more of.
Okay, so we've got these big brands like Starbucks and Scotch and Soda, but
Yeah.
is this something smaller companies can actually do too?
Absolutely. In fact, there's a car wash chain, Soapy Joe's, that's doing some really innovative things with
A
NFTs.
car wash? Really? That's not what I would have expected.
It just goes to show that this isn't just for big corporations with tons of money. Soapy Joe's created this Soapy Squad community around their
A
NFTs.
soapy squad.
Cute. And they're rewarding NFT holders with free car washes, discounts, even special events.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It shows that with a little creativity, even a smaller business can leverage NFTs to build buzz and loyalty.
Exactly. It's about thinking outside the box.
All right, so we've seen the potential benefits. We've got some cool real-world examples. But now let's get into the nitty-gritty. How can brands actually integrate NFTs into their loyalty programs in a way that works? Like, what are the key strategies to keep in mind?
That's the million-dollar question, right? There are several approaches that brands can take, and it really depends on their specific goals and target audience.
Okay, so let's break down some of those strategies. We touched on personalization earlier. I'd love to dive a little deeper into how that works in practice.
Sure, let's do that. Yeah, so with personalization, it's all about using NFTs to make each customer feel like they're getting something truly tailored to them.
Okay, so like more than just, hey, here's a 10% off coupon because you're in our loyalty program.
Exactly. You can actually use NFTs to track things like purchase history, preferences, even how engaged a customer is with the brand.
So the more I interact with a brand, the more unique or valuable my NFT rewards might be. That's pretty cool.
Precisely. It creates a sort of positive feedback loop. The more customers participate, the more they're rewarded, which makes them even more likely to stay engaged.
I can see how that could be really powerful for building loyalty. And speaking of engagement, what about gamification? It seems like NFTs would lend themselves well to that whole idea.
Oh, absolutely. Gamification is a great way to make things fun and keep people coming back for more.
Right, because everyone loves a good challenge.
Exactly. And you can incorporate all sorts of elements into a loyalty program using NFTs. Think challenges, quests, leaderboards, all that stuff that taps into our competitive side.
Okay, so let's say I'm in a brand's loyalty program. They could create like quests or challenges where completing certain tasks earns me a unique NFT.
Exactly. It's kind of like earning badges or trophies in a video game.
I love that.
Yeah.
It turns the whole loyalty program into an interactive experience instead of just passively earning points.
That's the goal, to make it fun and rewarding.
That's brilliant. What other strategies are out there?
Well, you can also use NFTs to create exclusive memberships. Think different tiers of membership, each unlocked by owning a specific NFT.
And each tier would offer different perks and benefits, right?
Exactly. So it's kind of like a digital VIP pass. You hold the right NFT, you unlock a certain level of access.
Okay, so like early access to new products,
Yeah.
invites to exclusive events, behind-the-scenes content.
All of that. The possibilities are pretty much endless.
It's like NFTs are creating a whole new world of experiences that were never possible before. This is seriously blowing my mind.
I know, it's exciting stuff.
What about using NFTs for interactive experiences? We touched on that a little bit with Starbucks, but I'd love to explore that more.
That's another area where NFTs can really shine. You can use them to unlock all sorts of interactive experiences. Think virtual events, augmented reality experiences, even access to metaverses.
Whoa, okay, so things are getting really futuristic now.
A little bit, yeah. But imagine, you're holding an NFT that lets you attend a virtual concert hosted by your favorite brand, or maybe you get access to an exclusive augmented reality experience that overlays digital content onto the real world.
Wow. It's like bridging the physical and digital worlds in a whole new way.
Exactly. And that's what makes NFTs so powerful for loyalty programs. They can create these really unique and engaging experiences that you just can't get with traditional methods.
Okay, so we've got all these incredible strategies: personalization, gamification, exclusivity, interactive experiences. But I'm sure there are some things brands need to think about before they jump headfirst into the NFT pool. Right.
Absolutely. It's not just about slapping an NFT on a loyalty program and calling it a day. There are some important considerations that can make or break the success of a program.
Okay, so let's talk about those.
Yeah.
What are some of the crucial things that brands need to keep in mind?
Well, first and foremost, brand alignment is key. The NFT strategy has to feel authentic to the brand's identity and values. If it feels forced or out of place, it's probably going to backfire.
So, like, a luxury brand probably shouldn't be giving away NFTs that look like cartoon characters.
Exactly. It
Yeah,
needs to make sense for the brand and its target audience. If the NFTs clash with the brand's aesthetic or values, it will feel disingenuous. It could even damage the brand's reputation.
that makes total sense. What else is important?
Utility and value are super important. The NFTs need to offer real benefits or experiences beyond just being collectible.
So they can't just be pretty pictures.
Right, whether it's exclusive access, tradable value, a connection to the brand's community, they need a clear purpose. It has to be a win-win.
I get it. Customers want to feel like they're getting something valuable in return for their loyalty, and brands obviously want to see a positive impact on their business.
Precisely. That's why it's so important to think carefully about the utility and value proposition of the NFTs. Like, what problems are you solving for your customers? What benefits are you providing that they can't get anywhere else?
It's about creating real value, not just jumping on the NFT bandwagon because it's trendy.
You got it. It's about thinking long-term and building a sustainable program.
Okay, so brand alignment, utility, and value, those are all super important. What else?
One of the biggest things brands need to consider is the user experience.
Ah, yes. User experience. That's crucial for anything digital, really.
Exactly. The process of acquiring, managing, and using NFTs has to be simple and intuitive for customers. If it's too complicated or confusing, they're just going to give up.
I can totally relate to that. I've abandoned so many loyalty programs because it was just too much of a hassle to figure out how to use them.
Right. Nobody wants to spend hours trying to figure out how to redeem their rewards. Brands need to make the whole process super smooth, from how they onboard users to the platforms they use.
So it's all about removing any friction or barriers to entry.
Exactly. And part of that is making sure the technology isn't intimidating.
Yeah, because let's be real, NFTs and blockchain can be pretty confusing for the average person.
You're right. Education is a huge part of this. Brands need to explain things clearly in a way that everyone can understand.
So like creating educational content, tutorials, maybe even partnering with experts to provide guidance.
Exactly. It's about meeting customers where they are and helping them feel comfortable with the technology.
Okay, so user experience and education, check. What about the environmental impact of NFTs? That's a big concern for a lot of people.
It's a valid concern. Some of the older blockchain networks used for NFTs can be pretty energy intensive.
So what can brands do to address that?
Well, for starters, they can choose to use more energy-efficient blockchain platforms. There's a lot of innovation happening in that area, with new platforms emerging that are designed to be more sustainable.
Okay, so it's about making responsible choices that align with the brand's values. Like, if you're a brand that's all about sustainability, you probably don't want to be using an energy-guzzling blockchain.
Exactly. And transparency is key here, too. Brands need to be upfront with their customers about the environmental impact of their NFT program and the steps they're taking to mitigate it.
It's about being accountable and making conscious choices.
Okay, and what about regulations? It seems like the rules around NFTs are still being figured out.
Yeah, that's another area where brands need to tread carefully and stay informed. The whole regulatory landscape around NFTs is evolving quickly, so it's crucial to stay on top of things and make sure you're in compliance with all the relevant laws and guidelines.
It's like navigating uncharted territory. You got to be ready to adapt as things change. Exactly. It might even involve working with legal experts who specialize in this area just to make sure you're doing everything by the book.
So to recap, we've got user experience, education, environmental impact, and regulations. That's a lot to keep in mind. But it sounds like if brands can get all that right, the potential rewards are pretty huge.
They are. NFTs can completely transform the way brands build relationships with their customers. But it takes effort and a commitment to doing things the right way.
All right, so we've talked about the present and how brands are using NFTs now, but what about the future? What trends are on the horizon for NFTs and loyalty?
Oh, that's where things get really interesting. There are so many cool things on the horizon. One trend that's gaining a lot of traction is the idea of using NFTs as digital twins for physical products.
Digital twins.
Mhm.
So like a digital representation of a real-world item. I've heard a little bit about that, but I'd love to hear more.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Imagine you buy a limited edition pair of sneakers, and along with those sneakers, you get an NFT. And that NFT verifies the authenticity of the sneakers, tracks where they came from, maybe even unlocks exclusive digital content related to that specific pair.
That's so cool. It's like a digital certificate of authenticity, but with extra perks.
Yeah.
What are some examples of how brands are actually using this digital twin concept?
Well, Nike is one of the big players in this space. They actually filed a patent for something called crypto kicks.
Crypto kicks, what are those?
Basically, they're digital sneakers. You can collect them, you can even breed them to create new ones, and you can trade them just like physical sneakers.
Whoa, that's wild. It's like they're taking sneaker culture into the metaverse.
Pretty much. It blurs the lines between the physical and digital worlds.
Are any other brands doing this digital twin thing?
Definitely. We're even seeing luxury brands jump on board. Tiffany, for example, created NFT-linked pendants. They're like digital twins of their iconic jewelry pieces.
Oh, wow. So it's like owning a piece of digital luxury.
Exactly. It's a way for luxury brands to tap into this whole NFT thing while still maintaining their exclusivity.
Okay, so digital twins, check. What other trends are out there?
Well, another trend that's gaining momentum is the use of NFTs to unlock exclusive experiences. Like, imagine you have an NFT that gets you into a VIP lounge at a concert or a sporting event. Or maybe it grants you access to a meet and greet with your favorite artist.
Oh man, that would be awesome. It's like a digital backstage pass. How does something like that actually work?
Well, Kings of Leon, the band, was one of the first to try this out. They offered NFTs that came with all sorts of perks, like limited edition vinyl, front row seats to concerts, even a golden ticket for lifetime access to their shows.
Wow, that's incredible. It takes being a fan to a whole new level.
Right, and it shows the potential of NFTs to create these really unique and valuable experiences.
Are any other brands doing this kind of thing?
Oh yeah, and the possibilities are endless, really. Think about a fashion brand creating an NFT that gets you into a virtual fashion show, or a food company offering an NFT that unlocks exclusive recipes or cooking classes with celebrity chefs. It's all about creating experiences that people can't get anywhere else.
Okay, so digital twins and exclusive experiences. Those are some seriously cool trends. What should brands keep in mind as they explore these ideas?
Well, a lot of the same considerations we talked about before still apply. Brand alignment, utility, value, those are all super important. But brands also need to stay agile and adaptable because this is a rapidly evolving space.
So it's all about finding creative ways to integrate NFTs that feel authentic and provide real value to customers.
Exactly. And that means constantly experimenting and trying new things. That's what's so exciting about this whole NFT space. It's still so new, and there's so much room for innovation.
I'm definitely getting the sense this is just the beginning. We're going to see a lot more cool stuff happening with NFTs and loyalty in the coming years.
I think so too. And it's not just about brands pushing rewards at customers. It's about inviting them to become part of the brand story, to co-create the future of the brand.
It's about turning customers into fans, into advocates.
Exactly. And that's where the real power of NFTs lies.
It's really fascinating to think about how NFTs are changing the whole loyalty game. Like, we've talked about all these amazing possibilities, but I'm curious, what do you think is the most exciting aspect of NFTs when it comes to loyalty programs?
I think it's the potential for NFTs to really transform the relationship between brands and customers. Like, it's not just about transactions anymore.
It's about building a deeper connection.
Right. It's about shared values, shared experiences, maybe even shared ownership in a sense.
And that's something that traditional loyalty programs have struggled with.
Yeah.
Like, you earn points, you get a discount, but it doesn't really make you feel like you're part of something bigger.
Exactly. But with NFTs, you can create a sense of belonging, a sense of community, and that can be really powerful.
Especially in today's world, where people are craving authentic connections.
Yeah, people want to feel like they're part of something meaningful, and brands are starting to recognize that.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today, from the basics of NFTs to some pretty mind-blowing future trends. But before we wrap things up, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier, the financial aspect of NFTs.
Yeah, it's a topic that a lot of people are curious about.
Especially when you hear about people making, millions of dollars from NFTs,
Yeah.
it's easy to get caught up in the hype.
I think it's important to be realistic. While some NFTs have definitely fetched crazy prices, it's not a guaranteed path to riches. And like any investment, there are risks involved.
Right, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Exactly. But what's interesting about NFTs in the context of loyalty programs is that they introduce a new element of value. Like, imagine a scenario where the NFTs you earn from your favorite brand actually increase in value over time as the brand itself grows.
So your loyalty to the brand could lead to a financial gain.
Potentially, yeah. And that's a pretty compelling idea. It incentivizes both the customer and the brand. Customers are rewarded for their loyalty, and brands benefit from having a community of supporters who are literally invested in their success.
It's almost like turning customers into micro-investors in the brand.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. And I think that's what makes NFTs so disruptive. They have the potential to change the whole dynamic between brands and consumers.
It's not just a one-way relationship anymore. It's more like a partnership.
Exactly. And that's a really exciting shift.
All right, so we've talked about the potential benefits, the strategies, the trends, the challenges. What's the key takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
I think the most important thing is to remember that NFTs are a tool. They're not a magic solution to all of a brand's loyalty problems. It takes careful planning, creativity, and a real commitment to providing value to customers.
And it's not just about the technology itself. It's about understanding the human side of things. Why do people feel loyal to certain brands? What motivates them to engage?
Exactly. If brands can tap into that, NFTs can be an incredibly powerful tool for building deeper, more meaningful relationships with their customers.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to challenge our listeners to think about how their favorite brands could use NFTs in a way that would make them truly excited.
Yeah, what kind of perks, experiences, or community features would make you feel like a valued member of a brand's community?
Because ultimately, the future of loyalty is being shaped right now. And it's a conversation that we all need to be a part of.
Brands and customers alike.
So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep imagining the possibilities. Because NFTs have the potential to change the way we think about loyalty. And it's going to be an exciting ride.
Definitely. I can't wait to see what unfolds.
That's a wrap on this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.